Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Today I'm going to be checking out the new Max Park lube system from the Cubicle. So today I'm going to be opening up and trying out a pair of new cube lubricants created by Angstrom Research at thecubicle.com, which are endorsed by Max Park, the famous speed cuber. So there should be two different types of lubes in here, one of them more of a fast piece lube with some interesting properties, and the other one's a heavier silicone-based core lube. So it looks like we have the business card of thecubicle.com right here. There we go, still says happy holidays, that's kind of funny. And then let's open up this bag here and get into the lube itself. So we have a couple of tips here, a couple of syringes with the lubricants, as well as a little explanation paper. So basically this paper is saying they have two new premium lubes used and endorsed by Max Park. They have Max Fleet, which has some crazy chemistry stuff, resulting in strikingly unique shear properties. So basically it's extremely quick, but with little to no drag. So that'll be interesting. And they also have Max Command, which like I was saying is a silicone-based core lube that's designed to be between metal and plastic surfaces. So basically where the screws and springs would be on a cube. And it looks like it can also be used in the pieces to provide more control. So kind of like a heavier silicone lube. Anyway, I have the two lubes right here, so let's go ahead and get a cube out and try them out. So I have an MF3RS2 right here. It's a bit of an older budget cube, but the Cubicle's magnetic version of it was my main for a while, so it definitely is a good design with a lot of potential. Anyway, I've never really used this cube a whole lot, and I wiped out all the lube that was in it, so it should be just as if it were right out of the box. Anyway, the cube itself isn't particularly fast or smooth or really anything, it just feels very plain, and also it has a lot of spring noise, especially on this side right here. So it should be a good subject for these two lubricants. So I'm going to start off by trying out Max Command because I have a feeling the other one is going to have a bigger effect on the actual turning of the cube. So I want to see what this one will do to the cube alone. So let's open up the little syringe right here and put the tip on. It's funny, it looks almost kind of glittery inside of there. I wonder if that's part of what they use to make the lube or what, but either way it does look really cool. Anyway, let's get onto the cube right here, open up a center cap so we can try out this lube on the hardware. Anyway, I think that's just about unscrewed right there. So let's pop out this screw and spring and center cap, or just the entire face, that works too. So here we have the centerpiece, here we have a washer, a screw, and a spring. So let's get the lube out here, push it up to the top, and it looks like it's about to come out, just like that. There we go, so we can put some of it, I guess, right on the screw head, right around where the spring is. I guess a little bit more down by the washer, maybe on the other side of the washer too. Just anywhere the metal is going to be touching other metal or touching plastic. So that looks about good. Let's pop that back into the centerpiece right here, and then screw it back into the core. I'll go ahead and repeat that on all 6 sides, and then get back to you with the cube fully assembled. Alright, I've applied the lube into the hardware on all 6 sides, so let's go ahead and do some turning to see if there's any big difference. For reference, the core lube that I usually use on most cubes right now is Lubical Black, and after applying that into a cube that's totally empty, you usually do notice a little bit of a difference in turning. And I definitely can tell that the spring noise has totally gone away. It was really bad on this cube right out of the box, and now it's pretty much totally gone. Yeah, I can say that the turning has definitely actually improved. The whole thing just feels a little bit faster, like there's less resistance to the turning. Yeah, I guess a significant portion of the slowness in the original cube did actually come from the hardware. This cube was probably an extreme case of the effect of this lube just because there was so much spring noise in there at the beginning. You could tell there was a ton of friction inside the centerpieces, and now most of that is relieved. On a newer cube like a GAN cube, you probably won't notice as much of an effect because you don't have the spring directly rubbing against plastic in a circle. But I am definitely surprised at how big of a difference just lubing the core made on how nice this cube is to turn in general. It definitely is quite a lot nicer now. I'm not sure how this lube is going to hold up to something like Lubical Black when it comes to longevity. I imagine this should last a while, but in terms of performance, Max Command definitely stands up to Lubical Black or any other core lube for that matter in terms of how it makes the cube feel. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on to what I think is probably the more exciting of these two lubes, Max Fleet. This one's claim is to make the cube extremely fast, but without any drag. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm told that it can run very, very quickly and get all over the place. So let's carefully put this little tip on, and then we'll go ahead and pop out a piece and put some in. Oh, and there it goes. There we go. Let's just put a little on the piece, maybe a little bit deeper in there. I don't want to put too much in because this cube is already pretty fast, and I don't want it to be totally out of control. But let's just do that, and oh man, that is a little bit crazy, a little bit kind of uncontrollable. It definitely makes it faster. Let's test out. Yeah, it kind of feels when you're just turning one side like this, it doesn't feel like you really put anything in it. Like I don't feel any sort of sluggishness at all. Normally when I would put that much of a fast lube in a cube, it would definitely feel kind of like it was slowing it down when you're just turning one side like this, but then get faster when you're turning it like this. But this one, like it feels like there's nothing in there, but it still feels a lot faster. So that's kind of crazy actually. Like this is super uncontrollable now. Now I'm going to test out another property of Max Command, the core lube, and they said putting it in the tracks of the pieces to make the cube more controllable, because this cube is super out of control. And there we go, just a nice line of lubricant across the track right there. And we'll put this corner piece and the edge piece back in and see if that makes it a little bit more controllable, yet still fast. Let's break this in. Yeah, it's definitely slowing down a little bit. That one you definitely can feel the effect of when you're turning a side like this, a little bit of sluggishness, but also incredibly smooth. And yeah, it definitely did what it said it was going to do and slowed it down a little bit, made it a little bit more controllable. And overall, this cube is a little bit fast for me, but definitely a lot better than it was right out of the box by just adding these 2 lubricants. Now, I think lubing an older budget cube can be a really good demonstration of what a new lube can do for a cube, but what you guys might find more interesting is what it can do for a new cube, a new top-of-the-line speed cube, the GAN 356 XS, my current main, and more importantly, would I actually use these lubes in my main cube? So what I've done is I've actually wiped out all the lube that I previously used in my main. It's completely dry right now, and actually still turns really well. So I'm gonna start from scratch and use these 2 lubes on my cube that I paid for and that I use every day, and see if I can get it into a state that I like better than how I had it lubed before. I'm gonna do this off camera because I wanna get it as perfect as possible. So basically, I think I'm gonna use max command on the one high friction spot in the hardware. It's just plastic rubbing against plastic, and then I'm gonna go into pieces and use max fleet just in all the pieces all around, and maybe add a little bit more max command if I wanna make it a little bit more controllable, and see what I can do with just these 2 lubes. Alright, I wasn't planning to do this, but I just want to pause here for a second in the middle of lubing this cube because this max fleet lube is really weird. It said it's a non-Newtonian lube that kind of has like a high molecular weight. So, I don't know, it just acts super strangely. I've never seen a lube like this before. I guess once you start to break it in, it might act more normal, but there is definitely some crazy science stuff going on here that I don't understand that was contributing to that really unique feeling from earlier. This stuff definitely isn't just some rebranded silicone lube. There really is some crazy stuff going on behind whatever this is. Alright, I just finished lubing my main, the GAN XS. I started off with a little bit of max command in the core, and I think it helped a little bit, not really a whole lot. On a cube with a traditional screw and spring structure, it definitely does help a lot, but on the GAN XS, I never really saw a reason to lube that part of the cube, even when I first got it. But yeah, then I moved on to max fleet, the more exciting one. I started lubing the pieces and saw that crazy stuff going on, and I had to show you guys. And it did exactly what I was expecting it to, just like it did in our test cube. Basically making it really fast, but without any hint of sluggishness whatsoever. And that was actually something I was getting annoyed about this cube in particular. All cubes slow down over time, and once they get too slow, you have to add more lube to make them fast again. And once you do that over and over again, all that old stuff builds up and gives you that gross sluggish feeling in the middle of the pieces. But after lubing with this lube once, I just don't feel any of that at all, and I'm hoping that it'll kind of stay away even after adding more lube once this cube slows down a little bit. But yeah, for the time being, this cube is actually kind of uncontrollable for me, but I kind of like starting out fast because I know eventually it'll slow down and be really nice and controllable. That's why I didn't add any of the max command into the pieces. But I really do like how my main feels right now with these 2 lubes, and I think I'm going to keep it this way. Anyway, these are the 2 new MaxPark lubricants from Angstrom Research at thecubicle.com. You can buy either of these lubes for $9 or both of them for $15 and save a few dollars. I would definitely recommend Max Fleet if you like that idea of fast but without drag, as they put it. It really does feel that way in your cube. Max Command is also nice as a core lube. If you already have a good heavy silicone lube or like Lubical Black, I might just stick with that for the hardware, but if you don't have any lubes whatsoever, this would make a very good pair for just core lube, piece lube. Again, it's $15 for both of them, and if you want to pick up just Max Fleet, which I would recommend if you find it interesting, then it's just $9 at thecubicle.com. I'll put links to all these different products down in the description, and that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed or learned something about these new lubes, and I'll see you guys next time.